Hi, the story that I want to tell happened to my nephew. I will tell it on his behalf. Subscribe. There are a lot of interesting and fascinating stories ahead. I really want to speak up and ask for support from experienced people due to the fact that I'm only 22 years old and I'm in a very unpleasant and difficult situation. I met my girlfriend when I was only 18 and our relationship was just great. I didn't suspect that I could find such a person who would be in solidarity with me in everything, help me, and have common interests. Anyway, she was my first girlfriend, and I was her first boyfriend. We hit it off hard and dated for about 2 years. We were together all the time and hardly ever apart. It was all very, very beautiful and sweet. People on the outside just marveled. We are both creative and deep people. We wrote each other poems. I put them to music, wrote her songs. But I was quite a public person. I had gigs, groupies, lots of people around me, but I always came back to my beloved and we were happy in our own little kingdom. But the time came and my love went to college and started to drift away from me a lot. Apparently, she was very much annoyed by the girls hanging around. I convinced her that there was no one else for me but her, but at one point, I was like a twitch, and I had a huge fight with her, much bigger than I'd ever had before. And I ran into an old high school acquaintance of mine. She was a nice enough girl at the time, and I thought she was kind of cute. Anyway, it all happened like a delusion. We kissed, roughly speaking. I didn't feel anything at first. But after a couple days, I started to feel guilty. And I foolishly told my sweetheart. After that, it was like she was changed. She became angry. We started fighting all the time, she cried. I ran to her in tears, and it was like some stupid Brazilian TV series. But as time went on, things calmed down a bit. And she calmed down. Or rather, she just cooled down. She stopped showing any emotion. She only cried quietly into her pillow, listening to some strange melodies with complex, incomprehensible lyrics. Since I loved her more than life, and I had a youthful excitement boiling inside me, I decided that in order for us to be happy, we should have a child. I was 19 years old at the time. It didn't work out for a whole year, and I was getting desperate because my girlfriend seemed to start hating me. She became so distant that I just couldn't find a place for myself, and began to disappear at friends, stayed up late at the rehearsals of performances until the night, and even a couple of times went out with barely known girls. But summer came, and we went to my girlfriend's dacha. There, it seemed, everything got a little better. And despite the fact that she constantly reproached me and started to get mad at nothing, for example, if she was bitten by mosquitoes, she was literally hysterical. I could see that she loved me at least a little. I could just feel some little flashes. A month went by, and we started to realize that I think what we wanted so badly to happen had happened. She was pregnant. After waiting a couple months, we told the family everything. Her parents took the news very lightly and were even somewhat relieved. But with mine, it was much harder. Since they expected a lot from me and hoped that I would become something big in life, there was no limit to their anger. In the end, my father insisted that he wanted us to have an abortion. But my love was very strong and I couldn't stand it. I consumed an endless amount of psychotropic drugs found through distant acquaintances and slit my wrists that same day. It was okay. I was sent to the hospital where I spent some time, and when I got home, I heard my dad tell me to get ready for the wedding. My love, although she had gotten a little better with me because of the endorphins in her brain, she didn't show any love for me. She kept acting really weird. I blamed it on the pregnancy and chased her around, never leaving her side. We had a big wedding and things got better again for a while. 3 months later, my son was born. I tried to give myself completely and didn't sleep for 2 weeks. Until I simply passed out on the way to a rehearsal. And I put half the responsibility on my wife. She had severe postpartum depression and her parents took her home. We saw each other all the time. She lived at my place for a week and at home for a week. When her son grew up and she got a little nervous, something very strange started to happen. I just didn't exist for her. She didn't care where I was or how I was doing. I began to spend a lot of money and disappear in bars and clubs, getting drunk to death, began to look like a homeless person. I quit all my creative endeavors, tore up my entire successful career, which was just starting to gain major momentum. But I woke up and decided to move back in with my wife. We began to live together. She was constantly going out with her friends, leaving the child with her mother. I ran after her. I couldn't find a place for myself until I randomly saw her correspondence with a friend. It said that she had been in love with her former classmate for a year and a half, going crazy about him, writing him poems, dreaming about his body, and that she didn't give a damn about me. After that, I was morally dead. And I asked my wife what it was all about. She, crying, said that all this is not true and she loves only me. For a while I forgave her, but her attitude towards me did not change. She even wanted to go to her friend's birthday party on the day of our anniversary. So I had no choice but to just leave her. After 3 weeks of being alone, I called her. We met and I asked her why she didn't even want to know where I was or try to make up. To which she replied that she knew I wasn't going anywhere from her. I feel really bad and my parents are very scared for me. They tell me to leave her and get on with my life. They don't know that I've stopped eating for a month and I think this disease is called anorexia. I've lost 10 kilograms and I'm very scared for my life. Tell me, what should I do?